This is Techie once again, the spokesperson for the American Cultural Tradition and or Cultural Memory Complaint Department and the current and hopefully future, even though that might seem unlikely now, head and or chief and or director and or director head chief and or head director chief and or chief director head of the Stochastic Intelligence Agency. And once again, I'm out of sync because Mr. Tim Cook has still not worked out the details of the interface between one Apple product and another Apple product that is aCiPhtTh and another aCiPhtTh. In fact, you can't get this thing from this aCiPhtTh into the other thing in the same aCiPhtTh. But if you have once again have a complaint about that, talk to Mr. Tim Cook, the CEO and or head and or director and or chief and or CEO director head and or chief director CEO head of the aCiPhtTh product company. In any case, we're not here to talk about that, and we're I forgot to mention I am the current did I mention it again? Well, we'll mention it again anyway if I forgot to. And I'm the current head and or chief and or director head chief and or chief director head and or head director chief of the Stochastic Intelligence Agency as here for a contract in B through Theta. And I am here today in both of those roles to talk about that clown. Do you remember that clown? Do you remember that clown that came to my door, knocked on my door, and tap 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 tap? Techie, you're fired. And I had to inform him that I didn't work either for I don't work for ABC. I don't work for Walt Disney World. I don't work for the U.S. government. I don't work for Emperor Donald J. I don't work for his organization, the Ministry of Truth, or none of that stuff. And then he said he had a slip of paper that said didn't matter who I worked for, that he had the right to fire me under the new rules of the Ministry of Truth and the whatever they call it, the thing that does away with all the Constitution, including the First Amendment and all the rest of your rights. So you just try to remember your rights. That's an important thing these days. Anyway, it turns out this clown's name, and we didn't know this at the time, is Mickey Mouse. And apparently, Mickey Mouse has a history of this, and it's so much so that there are even expressions, I don't have time for this Mickey Mouse bullshit and stuff like that, because it's so petty and irrelevant and ignorant and etc. But unless you're one of them right-wing authoritarian fascists that support all the things that come out of the propaganda machine known as the Ministry of Truth. But I'm sure you're not if you're watching my channel. So what we're here to do is we found some old clips of this clown, Mickey Mouse. We didn't have time for this Mickey Mouse bullshit. And what you'll see is we'll see a lot of different things. First of all, he's a Holocaust denier, and you'll see him say in this quotation from Adolf Hitler, the famous Nazi fascist German crazy man, that he'll say, and he's a mouse. This guy's a mouse, right? It's the what is that term? The Stephen. It's okay. There's a medical expression, and it's derived, I think, from the Stockholm thing, right? And it goes, and it's called the Stephen Cracker don't know he black. No, yeah, Stephen Cracker don't know he black Miller syndrome. And it's like Stockholm syndrome, only Cracker don't know he black, and Jewish Cracker don't know he black. That's what I'm gonna say. And okay, let's try it again. It's called the Stephen Jewish Cracker don't know he black syndrome. And Mickey has this thing, right? Mickey has this thing because we have evidence he's denying that book Mouse, that documents all the oppression and genocidal intentions those evil cats had against the mouse people, mice people, I guess. And he denies that the cats ever did that. It's kind of like that's why we refer to it as Stephen Jewish Cracker don't know he black syndrome, because Stephen Miller he likes all these white supremacist agencies and organizations and terrorist groups, and he doesn't seem to understand that they target him. He's Jewish, right? They don't like him. They want to kill him, and yet he's all in on all this stuff. And same for this guy Mickey Mouse. He's all in on it, and you'll see him. And we have a clip, and apparently this clip it was one of the last films that Ms. or Mrs. and or Ms. Leni Riefenstahl made. Oh, here I am again. But before she passed away, and so this is a Leni Riefenstahl movie, and the star is Mickey Mouse. And once again, this kind of proves that Miss Riefenstahl never really did change all that much, and all these excuses that she had. Well, I didn't know that the Jewish people were being killed and exterminated and sent to concentration camps, and I didn't know about the gas chambers and all that stuff. I did in my movies, compare them to vermin, but I certainly not a racist and all this nonsense, and anyway, which was as we not me, but Contract and V through Theta has discussed the essential cinema, right? Like that essential cinema. If you look that up, that avant-garde essential cinema that was created by Jonas Mekas and his friends. Jonas Mekas, who also kind of pretends that he was escaping the Nazis, but turns out he actually belonged to this publication, this media publication that published all this incredibly offensive right-wing stuff and misrepresented his background. But no one wants to go back and say, because it was like, even the Jewish Museum in New York, had a retrospective for Jonas Mekas, and he's not even Jewish, but he kind of pretended he was Jewish. He supposedly fled, right? Fled the Nazis, but it turns out more that he didn't like the communists, and all kinds of racist, anti-Semitic stuff in Jonas Mekas, but people just want to ignore that. Anyway, you get the idea. So, what was I saying? What are we talking about? Stephen, Joe's Cracker, don't know he black, Miller, and how Mickey Mouse is kind of the mouse equivalent of this guy. So there's a bunch of stuff in here, and you'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and close out, and we'll watch Mickey doing his thing. And okay, once again, I said, this was filmed by Ms. Leni Riefenstahl, and if you want more information about her, I think there's a new movie about her and stuff like that. And you want more information about her and the Central Cinema, you can look that up at what's it called? Anthology Film Archives, or one of those things, or New York Filmmaker Co-op, or whatever it is. And they'll pretend that they're still pretending that Jonas Mekas was either Jewish or not anti-Semitic, depending on how you read the misrepresentations of his travels and journeys and all the chronological inaccuracies and nonsense. But probably still pretending that Leni Riefenstahl was a great director, and that in the aesthetic realm of, I suppose, the essential cinema, there's this idea that beauty transcends politics, and that's what Leni was all about, right? And well, that's nonsense, of course. But anyway, let's get on with the depictions of Mickey Mouse. All right, here we go.
Oh boy, you're here! So good to see you. This is my name is Mickey Mouse, and I'm here to as a spokesperson for ABC and Walt Disney World, as well as envoy from the Department of actually it's Ministry. Oh, I made a mistake. The Ministry of Tooth, run by Edward Donald J. Well, okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm reconstructing the playground that those cats in that book Mouse made for us back in the 30s, and it was, see, some people disparage those cats and say that's a castle. That's what they made for us. They were really nice cats, and here's a little purple dragon. This little purple dragon, he represents all the fun that we had back in those days when the cats they built, and it was all just for us. And what could be nicer than this? Look at this, all this work they did. And some people call it a ghetto. Isn't that ridiculous? I don't think so. And does this look like a concentration camp to you? I don't see any, crematorias or gas chambers or nothing. Do you? Look at that. It's just beautiful. And like I was saying, we had a lot of toys. We had here's a little purple dragon that them cats let us play with, and we could be upside down and doing our thing. And I'm here to set the record straight. A lot of these radical lefties, they want to claim that my people, the mice, suffered under this regime of authoritarian cats, and of course that's not true at all. And Mr. Adolf Feline Hitler, I know he's known for having said, the mice people are undoubtedly a race. But they are not human. But we're not human, are we? I mean, we really are. I was, like I said before, I began as in 2 dimensions. I was a 2-dimensional cartoon mouse. Well, that's not a human. So, when Adolf Hitler said that about us, I mean, he was right, wasn't he? I mean, we're really not. So anyway, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today, and dispel, some of those lies and misrepresentations of our history. There's other stuff going to go on too. Okay, so here's the next thing, and I'm wearing my new hat. I'm going to take this train. This is called the Truth Train, and I'm going to get on the Truth Train, and we're gonna re-examine all those historical lies that the radical left produces. Okay, so I'm wearing my little conductor's hat. This. Oh, by the way, this is not a reference to the Underground Railroad, that awful organization that had something to do with the ending of slavery in the United States. We know that's bad because under slavery we got more work done cheaper than any other. Here we go, toot, ready for a ride on the Truth Train? Yeah, as I was saying, under slavery we got more work done than and for cheaper labor than before. And then this is the problem. Once you get rid of slavery, then you have to have unions because you have people working for money and all that kind of stuff. It just ruined America. Anyway, this is Truth Train. For some reason, our truth is going backwards. I don't know what that means. Oh, yeah, because we're returning to the past. Before we made all that progress in the civil rights movement and stuff like that. Toot, here come the Truth Train. Here's the truth about dinosaurs. They never really exist. Oh, there's Turkey. Did you see him? Yeah, that creepy, left guy. And here, this is my favorite star. This is that star that you wish upon when you want to be a wealthy capitalist. When you wish upon a star, all your capitalist dreams will come true. Oh no, we're approaching, we're going under the Rainbow Bridge. That's really scary. This is where all those radical leftist LBTGQ. I try not to get it right because that's part of the way that we work here. But you can see by the different colors of the rainbow, this is not a representation of the American flag. This is what It's toot toot. Well, here comes. Okay. Oh, we got off the truth. We're off the truth train now. We're a pirate. We're gonna be a pirate. We're a pirate, and you know we're pirating. We're pirating the truth. Okay. So we're on an adventure to board and steal the truth from people that have the truth, and it'll be our truth now, okay? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to investigate some of this other stuff, some of these radical left lies. Okay, here we are. We're on a little pirate truth boat, and we're going to steal the truth. We're going to make it ours. We're going to bring it back to the Ministry of Truth, okay? Okay, we're looking for the truth out here on the sea. Here's an island. What do you think is going to be on that island? It's treasure. It's treasure. This is the way we make money. We find it. Oh, here's us. Okay, you know how they say all that stuff about us now? Like, colonialism is a bad thing, and you can't just go stealing people's land and money. Well, how else are we going to get it? This is the way we always did it. We were pirates of truth and money and cultural appropriation. So we're going to go look. We're going to go on that island where all the savage people live, where the savages. They're just like what Adolf Feline Hitler said about the mites. You know, they're undoubtedly race, but they're not human. Okay, so whoever owns the look what I discovered, treasure. I discovered the treasure. I found treasure. Oh, like with the help of my happy star. When you wish upon a star, all the stuff from other people's islands are yours. Oh, this is great. Okay, so here we are. I'm Santa Claus. Now, here's the true story of Christmas and Jesus Christ. And I want to misrepresent it the way that the radical left does. You know, always talking about. That's my friend Minnie. You can see that I'm a good white heterosexual conservative family-loving mouse, because this is my girlfriend, and she's not trans, right? And she doesn't. Oh yeah, and she doesn't say, oh look, I put turkey in the snowman because wait, let's go back and see that again because that was really funny. We don't like that guy. Okay, I'm talking to Minnie here. Hi, Minnie. And then here I come. This is gonna be my gift to my girl this year. I'm making a snowman. I'm gonna stick that turkey in there. See that? There's turkey sticking out of there. What an idiot! Okay. There's my snowman. 1, 2, 3. You like that Wallace Stevens poem? You know, with the branch with the 3 blackbirds on it. There's my snowman. And then, I'm impressing my girl. This is the way family life should be. You know, this is it. This is it right here. Oh, hi, Mickey. I'm so impressed. I'm gonna draw something out of a hat. This is what I'm gonna contribute this bow. Oh, thank you, Minnie. Thank you. This is how people work together. This is how good heterosexual couples work together. Making snow people, putting hats on them, reaching into their hats and pulling out a bow. Okay, if this isn't what you're doing for Christmas, you're not a real Christian. All right. So okay, here we're gonna make another one. Okay, there's another one. All right. Oh, what do you think of this? We're gonna put some arms on this one. Oh yeah, because we don't want people with disabilities, right, Mickey? No, DEI, that stuff sucks. We can't have disabled snowmen for Christmas. You know, Jesus, he told us, you know, like if people have disabilities, you got to get rid of them. You know that story of the disabled guy on the road, the bad disabled guy on the road. Yeah, that's a great DEI story. Okay, here I am. That scene's over. We're gonna do some more stuff here. Let's see what Mr. Murdoch. What was that? Mr. Murdoch's giving me directions from off stage, but he's old and kind of. I don't know. It's hard to hear him sometimes and understand what he's saying. We'll see what's going on, Mr. Murdoch. Am I done here? Oh, okay. So this is circle. Do you see the circle? Right. So come full circle. That's what we're talking about here. So, well, this country, right, the United States, it started out it started out as segregated, and not everybody had rights, and women didn't have the right to vote. Well, if you think of it as a circle, we got to get back to that, right? We got to get back to that. So that's why I would put all these circles in here. We're getting back to the original. Oh, there's a square. So, you know, sometimes people say being a square is kind of being a jerk, but you know, being a square is just, you know, being an original constitutionalist. Okay. So, what we were talking about, you know, with all that stuff. Well, the Supreme Court, what they need to understand is the Constitution should be read not as a living document, but as it was originally intended by the founders. That's what our happy star is talking about. So there's circles again. So we got to get back to that. We got to get back to the slavery. We got to get back to, I love my Minnie Mouse. I certainly do, but she's kind of a triangle. And, she really shouldn't be voting and stuff like that. And when I decide to allow her to place an object on my snowman, I want her to understand, if I don't like the way that she did it, I have the right to tell her, take that off, Minnie. You're not my equal, right? Because you're a woman, and according to the founding fathers, you shouldn't have the right to vote or get a divorce or have your own money.
Hello, just Vicky once again. So, once again, that was the guy that I guess his name is Mickey Mouse, and he was knocking on my door, tap, 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 the day before yesterday, telling me that I was fired, and, you already know what I had to tell him, and that's who this guy is, alright? So, if this guy comes tapping on your door, hello, this is Mickey, he says, hey, this is Mickey Mouse, then what you gotta do is, you gotta tell him F off, and that he doesn't have the right to fire you, and you're gonna stand your ground, stand up for your rights, and remind him, that whatever Rupert Murdoch says, and whatever the Ministry of Truth says, and whatever Donald J's lackeys say, that ABC and Walt Disney World don't have the right to fire you if you don't work for them, okay? So once again, this is Turkey signing out, and if you see Mickey Mouse, first of all, don't buy no Walt Disney products, and don't be watching anything made by ABC. And the other thing is, if you see Mickey Mouse out there, trip him, yeah, knock him over, trip him. He doesn't wear glasses, so you can't take them off. Pull on his big ears and steal his shoes. You can do whatever you want. Leave him naked in the snow, and go on from there. All right, the Turkey signing off. Take care.